All right, we are back. What it do? So weird. So weird that Facebook makes absolutely everything so much easier on a cell phone. But it is what it is. We'll get some people on here. This thing is going to be, this tripod is not going to want to work with me here. There we go. All right. Get some people in here and we'll get back on it. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So what we was talking about, or what I was talking about before, was the Knoxville Dragway Turbo John's backwards brawl, and we're going to bring um, some different things in. It's going to be sort of all over the place. Once we get some more structure, hopefully it'll come back around to what it used to be. Which, by the way, I see Michael's back on here. It barely got above 33 degrees at Knoxville. It was extremely, extremely cold. It was like 28 to 31 pretty much the majority of the day. So it was cold. It was very cold. I forgot to bring my boots. There we go. So we're gonna bring HandiGapped in here. Look how easy this is. How this works. Da, 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 da. Says we're adding. Joining.
All right, there we
There
are.
he is.
I couldn't figure it out for myself.
Man, the desktop is just not. It's funny. It's just not the way to do it. It doesn't let me bring people on. It's set up for a cell phone. So for some reason, you've got to run everything through a cell phone with Facebook to do it that way. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. No big. I mean, I thought it was going to be it was going to work, but not the case. But all good.
The sound
So what's
quality is
going
not too
on?
bad this way. I've
No,
been, my car's been in what fabrication jail for like 3 months now.
right. Yeah, because bigger turbo, a different cold side, a different hot side, and all that stuff, correct?
Yeah, just changed everything. The setup
Right,
was
right.
old, and the first time the guy that built my turbo setup, it was the first time he ever built one, and we learned since then.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I had the same exact thing, except my stuff. Same thing.
Lagging.
You think something's going to be uh, short and sweet, and then it doesn't. It ends up being taking forever. So,
I think I
all
was
right, let's see.
lagging out.
Yeah, it'll. I'm sure that it will. I'm sure it'll get better and better as it goes on here. Let's see
Yeah.
here. It's I mean, I did the same thing with the chain. God, dude, I had never built a turbo kit until we did the ones on. I did the first one on the car. So I mean, it is what it is. Mine, you talking about some janky stuff? Absolutely horrible.
Our first our first one was pretty bad. It was probably the worst out of all the ones he did. And so when we put a bigger turbo on it, it just didn't do any good.
I understand, and like I'm literally looking at a picture of my car, but when I had the huge turbo on it, and if people could see the gumball welds that were right before the intercooler on that one side, Jesus help us. It was absolutely horrid, horrid. It did fine, but which I know you've been working with like stock engine bay and a lot of limited room, and that
Yep.
ends up being tough. Ends up being tough. So, well, I mean, I've actually, I think I listened to the interview with you on Ken's channel before on Drag or Die.
Yeah,
Um,
that was what, 2 years ago now? A year
yeah,
ago?
I mean, time flies. That's another thing.
It has.
It absolutely flies. But for people who haven't uh, haven't heard that or may not know you, like what kind of car is it that we're talking about? Some people may not know exactly what
True.
we're talking about or what you race or what all is going on there. So, and you don't have to get into no specifics. Obviously, we're, street raced cars, no prep grudge. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. So,
It's
what all kinds of information you want to delve out? You go ahead.
just I mean, 96 Mustang Turbo LS. I mean, we've upgraded the methanol though.
I got you. So I know I've been around the car now a couple years. You was like, what's the story? When did you first buy the car?
So I didn't actually. So I had a Trans Am and I wrecked it, and everything from that, I was going to buy another Trans Am, and Billy Dorsey was like, "Just take this Mustang and give me $250." He's like,
Nice. That's awesome.
it's already got an 8.8 in it because it's a V6 car. So I took that and it started off as just a nitrous true LS1 car for 2 years, spraying the dog shit out of it, trying to learn.
Nice. That's awesome. So $250 slapped a LS in it with some nitrous, like literally as cheap as possible.
Cheapest way
And
you could do it. Always on nitrous on a button.
right, right. I mean and just go race. I love that. That's like the majority of people who start almost right there, like as cheap as
Mm-hmm.
possible, get something. I mean, because I bought my car for $250 as well, so
Yeah.
that's like that's the number for like projects, $250 and end up with something that's, I mean, pretty fast now. Your car is
It's
has, and
it's
I
getting
think it
there.
surprised some people last season for sure when you made the switch over to M1, and even before then, the car's never been one to count out, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that I've seen.
No,
Um,
we try to we make it we're always, what is it? The bridesmaid, never the bride though.
I
Like
got you. I
we're
got you.
always there, but we're never in the final. Like we never get it. Getting there though.
I got you. So how early on did you switch over to turbo?
So I think it was like 2 or 3 years after. Um, the idea was there. I had a turbo, but the car worked phenomenally. It,
Right, right,
like at our local airport, it was doing wheelies on a radial.
right.
Um,
That's insane.
we went out on what was it? It was a Black Friday race, cash days at the road that you came to and raced on.
Right.
And I left rods and pistons on the ground. And at that point, I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, might as well switch it to turbo now.
I got you.
So,
That's usually how that happens. A lot of people switch after, because like you said, if you're going to pull the motor out, you're going to do all this stuff and you're going to be
yep.
down for a while, make the switch that you want to do. I mean, I love nitrous. The first thing that I ever did to a car was put a nitrous kit on it. Like that was my first true like performance mod.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the and that was a V6 Mustang, a 1999 V6 Mustang. My wife's in here messing with me now, but yeah, I that nitrous is just, I feel like it's everybody's like
It's an
starting point.
easy go-to.
It is. It is because you could just I mean, you're not going to quickly add, the tuning and the different things and the
Yeah,
fuel
no.
system and all that stuff that you've got. I mean, I threw 150 shot on a stock V6 Mustang. So just because we were, you can jet it that way and do all that.
Were they 3.8 cars then still?
Yes.
Mine was a
Yes.
3.8 car, and Dorsey had it first. He had it on an open line, just shoved
Oh my
in
God.
the intake.
That's
Like it was
hilarious.
ridiculous, and like 456 gears.
That is hilarious. Yeah, mine was a stick shift. It's something about some of the 3.8s actually had like, and I've hear like, and I don't know, it's been so long. It was either like forged rods or something like that, or like really nice rods from the factory,
Yeah,
which
something like
it was
that.
something weird because I mean that was at a time, and I was 17 and was trying to put. I was like looking up turbo kits for it and oh man, all that stuff to a V6
Oh
3.8
yeah.
Mustang. That was
If
a long time
if you
ago.
would tell me then I'd have the car I have now, I'd tell you you're a liar.
Right,
100%.
right, right. I mean, that was, let's see, I had that car would have been like 2008, I think. 2007, 2008 would have been when I had that car.
Yeah.
So right at 15 years ago is when that was my second car, first car being a Honda. So that was my second car that we
My first one was a Honda
yep.
too. My first turbo car.
I didn't have a turbo, but man, I had a 1991 Honda Civic hatchback. That was my first car. And
Awesome.
that was another $250 purchase that had smashed a deer at 80 miles an hour, and me and my papa put it back together and went and bought all the body panels, and that was my first car. So it's funny because a lot of people or they did back when people actually cared about imports, but they would give me crap about just being like the Mustang guy or the Coyote guy,
Yep.
and they didn't realize that I had owned, first car was a Honda, have owned multiple Hondas, owned multiple Mitsubishi Eclipses and DSMs and stuff like that
I
back in
had
the
a
day.
DSM.
Oh yeah, I mean, those were freaking sweet, man.
A
Those
1G
were,
was my favorite car for the
oh
longest
yeah,
time.
I had a 1G, I guess technically, like a 1991, I think
Hmm.
it was, Eagle Talon, and then I bought one. I was gonna build a 1992, like not the flip up headlight style, but I think that's the 1GB. I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
And I was gonna do the whole thing, like the all wheel drive turbo, the not all not all wheel drive, automatic with like the
Like
H
shit trans.
H something. Yeah, I went and bought an automatic transmission for it. Was gonna put the converter. I always watched which is pretty cool to see because I got to race around Jesse Avil and those guys.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember the Red Rocket from the
Mm-hmm.
back
Yeah.
in the day,
Red
dude.
Rocket.
That was my like upper echelon. Like I wanted that. That
That
was
was
what
the
I
car
wanted back
I
in the
wanted
day.
to.
Yes, that
I
was
grew up around them. What was it? Dave Katz, very big tuner for DSM stuff.
right.
Like in our area, I loved them. Now I hate them.
Yeah. Man, once you get into actually doing it, you realize like what is easy and what is, being different takes a whole lot of money,
It does.
really. Being different is all well and cool, and man, like the four-cylinder stuff. I had a Neon. I know Jimmy's talking about the Neon. I had an
Yeah.
SRT4, and man, God, everything, and it was cheap at the time, but like and I never broke. I will say I never broke, but I was around Corey.
Oh.
Corey was breaking all the time, and the four-cylinder stuff just got old really, really fast,
Oh
really
yeah.
fast.
No, 100%.
So,
Four-cylinder stuff got slow. Before my I actually traded a fully built killer like Subaru for my Trans Am in stock form.
that's so funny. End up with
Like
a Subaru.
I had a Subaru. That was my first ever since my accident. That was my first car with hand controls.
Really?
Was a Subaru, and then I slowly built it up, and then I got to the point where it was I was tired of it.
Oh yeah, man. I know because I ran with one of my friends had the Subaru WRX, and he ran the ever loving crap out of that thing, and I forget what he ran in, like completely stock, and it was like I forget what they call, it wasn't, it was after the bug eye. I
Okay.
guess a blob eye, I think is what they call it. I
I
forget
think
what
that's
they
what they
call it.
called. Mine was a bug eye.
Yeah, his was after that, had a little bit better transmission, and man, he beat the fire out of that thing. I forget what it went, like 770 stock in the eighth
That's
mile,
awesome.
which is for
That's
that little
awesome.
motor and
Yeah.
everything, like he was rolling. So, and then I forget what happened, blew it up or did something crazy like that.
Yeah,
So,
everybody liked mine because it was a built automatic with a stall. And
dang,
you just don't hear about that with Subarus.
no,
Not ones that are
not
driven
at
on the
all.
street.
No, we
But like I
had
was determined.
Yeah, that was, man, I remember there was a guy local to us that had a built one, and it was like built like dog box transmission. And then I think they went to an auto, but I don't think they ever got that thing lined out. It would make two passes and break. Like it was
Yep.
absolutely rough. Because when it would leave, I mean, it was just like a rodeo. I mean, it was just
Yeah, they don't
bouncing and just
just go straight like everybody thinks an all-wheel drive
no,
does.
no. Which I mean, those were like rudimentary, I would say, all-wheel drive compared to like the stuff like the GTRs and the things
Yeah.
now. But you're talking about a car that was like 30 grand and then built compared to these GTRs that are like, I don't even know what
100
the
grand
GTRs
and built.
cost now. Yeah, exactly. 100 grand with 100 grand more into them. So that's pretty crazy. So I know, which we talked about. It's called HandiGapped racing. I know you got there,
Yep.
and I know a little bit about. You got into an accident, motorcycle accident. I believe that's correct.
Four-wheeler.
Four-wheeler
Yep.
accident. Okay, I think I got that mixed up with Wheels from Texas. I think his may have been a motorcycle.
I think
I could be wrong about that.
uh actually uh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think he was in
He
a
flipped
truck
a
accident.
truck.
Yeah, he
He
flipped a
flipped a truck.
truck
That's right.
bad.
That's right. That's right.
Like
That's
he
right.
showed me
Yes.
pictures and like that was a bad wreck.
Yeah, it was completely
Yeah.
pancaked, I think, on the top. Like it was rough. So you
I
had a
think my
four-wheeler accident.
yeah, I
Okay.
think my wreck was like I mean, I broke my back paralyzed, but like I only broke a couple ribs. I hit a guardrail it pinned out on a 400 EX.
Goodness.
Yeah,
That's rough.
yeah.
That's
But
rough.
like I had a couple broken ribs and that was it. Like I just knew I never fell asleep. I was up through it.
Oof.
Like I knew. I was like, "Yep, fucked up."
God, that's crazy. Which, I mean, I've only known you ever after, and I'm sure a lot of people that are in obviously the no prep world only know you after the accident. They only
Yep.
know you from hand controls and like I couldn't imagine. I have a hard enough time, obviously, with just normal. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mean that disrespectful or anything like that, but hand controls that because I've seen some guys that do drifting and different things, hand control, and it just blows my mind that is just
The,
it's
the
already a
guys that
tough game to be
the
in
guys
no
that
prep.
drift and rally cross with them, I don't know how they do it.
I would say, and I'm sure I mean, you do it every day because you
Yeah.
hand control your other vehicles, correct? Like
Yep.
all your vehicles, like the thing that you are completely self-sufficient, do everything. I mean, that I've seen,
Yeah.
it's inspirational, I think, to a lot of people. If people could really see how much you work, I think it would blow people's minds. For me, I think
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's crazy. Which it shows because like what I was talking about earlier about Knoxville, the thing that I love about no prep and I love about backside and I love about the whole thing, like the whole game of pretty much everybody is just so they love it so much. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
so driven. It's so immersive. Everybody is obsessed with it, and there's so many people who sacrifice time and effort and money and everything because we love it so much. And like we're at January the 14th at Knoxville Dragway in the Tennessee mountains, and it's snowing, pouring snow down, and everybody's firing their cars up to go on not the front side of a
The
track, but from
backside.
the other way and go back towards a wall. It's just absolutely hilarious to me.
Yeah, I was
And I
watching
mean,
that live and I was like, oh my God.
it's crazy, man. Like, and the guys in Tennessee are nuts, man. Like it's not the first time that I've went. It really reminded me. I don't. Yeah, you were there.
English Mountain.
Set English Mountain and 710 Dragway at the first Christmas Clash. I
Yeah.
think is technically what it was. I don't know if it was a Christmas Clash, but it was the
It was
Dig or
their
Die.
it was a Dig or Die Christmas one. It was the first one I went to, and after that I was like, I'm not. I gotta go to
Same here.
this.
Same here. 20. I think it was 2019 December,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. It felt this past weekend felt so much like that weekend. It was,
That's cool.
brutally cold, but some of the best racing I've ever seen. Like that. I don't know if you'll agree, but that first Dig or Die, because that was my first as well.
Hmm.
That first Dig or Die at 710 on the back is one of probably the top three races that I've
If
been to, like in
there's a
terms of
race,
everything.
if there's a race that I like envied that I wasn't in or didn't get the race in, was that one.
Yeah, yeah. The rest of them they've been awesome. That's
Hmm.
probably obviously a lot of our most favorite race to go to for everything all the way around. But that one, like, it was just so gangster. Like there was it's so funny because now we have all the food trucks and we have the porta johns and we have
Yeah.
the bleachers and all that, and that day was like I don't think
That
anybody really expected it to be that crazy.
it was wild. I came home and I was like, we were telling friends like it was like a party, like
Yeah,
cookout slash like strip club slash like it was everything.
it was nuts. I mean, because Small Tower was stacked. It was
Yeah.
absolutely loaded with killers. I mean, you had the Midwest there, you had, all these cars. And then that was before you couldn't double enter. And everybody double entered
Hmm.
that race and then ran. And it was like pass after pass after pass after, I mean, the whole day. Because I think that was like 64 cars in that little old place. Man, you couldn't move. There was
It was
no,
tight.
it was crazy. It was absolutely wild.
The
I
one
don't know.
the one night we went there, it's because we didn't do the street, it was packed. And there was 10 times the amount of cars there that night.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it was
the Christmas
wild.
one.
Yeah, that was. I think technically that one. Which one was that? When I think Tyler DeSantis ended
He
up
hit the
wrecking in the
tree or
street.
whatever.
That was
Yup.
just a wild one, man. That was. I think that's really what, because Dick and I had been around for years, and I'll talk with Eric and Zinford one of these days to bring them on. But Dick and I had technically been around for years. I know Shannon Dillinger and some of those guys and Charles had invited me and be like, dude, you got to come down to Dig or Die back of the track 710. And I was like, yeah, whatever. They had the Tesla, and the Tesla was absolutely raping fools in the street class. And I was like, oh, whatever, whatever. And then finally, we went to that one. And it seems like ever since that one, it's exploded.
Yeah.
It's just straight up.
It's
I
gotten
mean,
like that one, and then ever since then, I feel like we went to that one, and it's like we got to go to the next one. And I feel like other people get there, and they're like, we need to go to this too.
right, right. Everybody has like their first time.
Yep.
And that was crazy. And then it's always a great time. That's for
I
sure.
feel like it was right there when No Prep really started
Yeah,
banging off.
for sure,
Like,
for sure, especially back of the track stuff.
yeah,
Because the backtrack is just, there's not that many surfaces now. I mean, there
nope.
are, but which I think it's sort of changing a little bit this year. They are having Darlington, they are having, Knoxville is a very, I love that back of the track. I think that's a great one.
I haven't been
That
there yet.
that one's it's pretty
Uh,
good. I mean, that is.
uh,
I feel like there's going to be lot more races, a lot more good races there for sure. Um, and I know they're having the big $25,000 race at Union backtrack, and that is also a very, very, very neat track.
I need to move
Um,
south.
it's yeah, this true. It's South is packed full. I mean, once you get to the North Carolina,
Yeah,
they're just it's
we're
nuts. It's nuts.
lucky we got the airport, but
Right.
like they've got
Right.
a lot.
Yeah. The airport, I mean, y'all got that right in your back door. I mean, that would be
Oh yeah.
awesome to have. See, technically, we're like 2 or 3 hours away from everything.
Hmm.
We're 4 hours from you. So it takes, you guys are it's so crazy. Dude, that 81 drive sucks so bad.
Dude, when we went to English Mountain, I got on my GPS and it was like 450 miles on
Yeah.
81.
You just stay the
All right.
entire time. God, that is a
It's a
that
horrible
is a
drive.
haul, man. It is. It is rough. I don't know why and it's like the whole way back when we came back from the airport, it was packed the entire way of just, semi trucks, and
Hmm.
it's not an easy drive, that's for sure. That's for
No, it's
sure.
definitely not.
So, what else do you have planned? What do you have planned going for 2023?
More street,
More street.
more
Amen.
street. I
Amen. I agree.
I love back of the track. I love it all. I like the airport. I can't say I love front of the track. Um, but I mean I still like its racing. But
Sure.
I want to go back more street race. I told Billy this last year. I was like, we need to start doing more street.
Yeah, for sure. It's everything. And that's what's funny about Dig or Die and Darlington and all these places. Like, everybody was starting to like, the only time that everybody would street is at these giant no preps. And
Mm-hmm.
then because of that, everybody figured out, hey, everybody's going to street behind or right before the giant no prep, you know,
Yep.
our, and then it's just multitudes of people and it's just, I mean, that the road is sketchy enough, and with that many people and not being able to
200
park,
people on the
and
side of the road and cramming through and just getting to the spot. Like,
it's an amazing time,
oh,
but
I
man,
love it. It's my
it's just too much.
yeah.
It's just too much. And what sucks is nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go. Not that many, especially down south now, in my opinion, want to go and race. Everybody chip in their 200 or $100 and go and race. Everybody wants to go run for 20 and 30 grand at these other no preps, and everybody, nobody, nobody streets when it's not a giant no
Yeah.
prep is what I'm getting
Yeah.
across, and
Yeah, that's what
it's
we
annoying.
like. We tried to do like Billy tried to do like a top 10 list around our area. I mean, it worked out for the most part, but it was still racing the same exact people like all the time in our area. And
Right,
we've got a lot of people in our little area that race,
right,
which is cool. But I think me, Billy, Jacob Mitchell, and a few others, we want to travel to other places and race, or other people come to us, and
right.
we talked about it a bunch.
Right. Well, it's such a tough thing because everybody wants to do it around that so much, but around those no preps,
Hmm.
I don't know what's going to change to make that happen. I mean, I guess technically it's sort of the thing that everybody wanted, or what all the tracks wanted, is to keep it off the street and take to the track, and they've given us enough events that that's happened. That
Yes.
really has happened. I mean, because that was the only time that I would used to race was when we would go to a street somewhere.
I feel like the
Um,
street brings out the real gangsters, though.
Absolutely. I will go ahead and tell you, it is an absolute fact. You can take somebody who can no prep and backside, put them on the street, and they are not going to do the
Yeah.
same. They're not. They're just not.
I
That
feel
was
I do better in the street. That's
for sure.
where I've been most of my life, though.
It's it's so much more than uh, I think that's the thing about it's not all about money or high horsepower or things like that. Because the thing about being in the street is like how cool, how calm, how collected can you be? Because that is a different type of rush. That is a
Oh yeah.
different type of heart pounding. That is a different type of is your crew going to get you in the tracks? Is your crew going to have you pointed towards the center, or are they going to do right by you?
Yep.
And are your crew guys as gangster as you are too? That's what's funny is people don't realize.
You gotta
And
have good crew
for
to go
sure,
anywhere in all this racing.
for sure. And if you've only no prepped and you think you're street, and you go out there, and I'm telling you, heart start pound. It's like buck fever, like with people who hunt. Like when
Yeah,
you get that actual, shooter in front of you, are you going to be able to take the shot? And I think that's what separates, like you said, that's what makes them the real gangsters, for sure. And
absolutely.
I want to get back to that. I want to get back to the good racing like that, for
Yeah,
sure. There's
we've
nothing
talked
like it.
about it a bunch. My last race of this last season was in Delaware on the streets, and it made my personal best pass, and then cops came.
Yeah,
Sucked, but like
that
on to the
sucks.
next round, I was on my personal best pass, and I was turned it up for the next one. Hopefully, it was going to do better. Didn't get a chance.
It's just so much better. It's so much more fun, which is crazy because I have such a good time at a lot of these races. But it's just it's so much more fun going in the street. It just is what it is. It's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
I think
So
it's
I'd like to get
the
out
like
to
one of the only
Texas.
things in life that like 100% gives me chills every time I do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can specifically remember a time that I, honest to God, thought that I was possibly going to die, and it was not from wrecking. It was not from. I thought that my heart was going to pound out of my chest while I was
There's been
racing.
times I'm like, all right, come on, like calm down, breathe. Like,
Man, I can tell you, I could show you on a map exactly where I was, where I thought I was like, my heart may explode right here. Like that was how intense it was. And it was at TX2K. It was in Texas, and I was sitting in like our staging area, which right behind our staging area was right where the cops would like pull in if they were going to pull in. And so my heart was just, I mean, I've never felt it before. I had to take deep breaths, calm myself down, and almost started hyperventilating, which is hilarious. But it was just, my heart was pounding, just nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. It was just on another level, that's for sure. So that's what I want to get back to, because that is a different type of rush in racing. And a lot of people haven't gotten to experience it. And a lot of people don't like it. And a lot of people are haters about it. But boy, those people who have done it,
most of them love it.
it's like a drug. It really is.
Yep.
It's insane. But I'd like to get to Texas this year at some point and go
Texas
race
is
with
definitely
Olympia.
on my list. I don't know if I'll make it this year, but Texas is on my list. I want
I'd
to go
like
there.
to. I really would like to. I haven't went to any good street stuff in
And the
quite a
pad.
few years. Yeah, I was supposed to make it there, just wasn't in the cards. But yeah, the pad is a different. I have raced there with some people, and it was not at Pad Wars or anything like that, and it was just a grudge race, and that is an absolutely insane place, man. You have people fighting in your window over who's betting on who, and just, I
Yeah, I
mean,
want to go
just
there.
insane. It is insane. So yeah, that one I did not make, unfortunately, but we were supposed to. Just wasn't in the cards. Car fought us the entire way, but one day I'll make it to a Pad Wars. But
That's what I'm hoping.
I gotcha. So car will be back when? Any idea?
Um, the cold and hot side is done right now. Doing a couple coolant system changes, and then
Gotcha.
I get the car back in my possession, and I'm probably this weekend I'll probably get back my possession
Nice.
and start. I'm gonna pull it all apart and just check the bearings. I haven't had the transmission out of the car in 2 years,
Oh, nice. I mean,
and
it's smart to
I've
do that type of maintenance.
beaten the shit out of that transmission. Like I've beaten it.
Yeah. I wish I could say the same, but I just haven't made enough passes. The poor transmission came back to me after having issues, And it wasn't long after that we had motor issues, and then finally got all that situated and had motor issues again. So yeah, I haven't been able to do the same thing. My poor transmission probably doesn't have 100 passes on it total, maybe,
The
if that.
converter is going to expire.
Yeah, converter's gonna expire. It is pretty rusty. That thing got a little. It sat in my our garage. We had a big rain, and it sort of flooded the garage, but not really. I don't know how to explain that. It like we got some water in there, but it wasn't around the car. But just the moisture once it evaporated, it got on that
Any
converter, and
surface,
it looks so bad. The
it sucks. Any
converter looks
surface.
horrible. Other than the red part, it looks absolutely horrible. It's crazy, but that's
I
awesome. So
I keep my car in a sea container, so like it scares the shit. I always go in there and I air it out all the time, or
yeah,
those dry bags,
yeah,
all inside of it.
yeah. Because I'd say if it gets warm at all, it'll do the condensation thing where the cold and the heat and all that stuff. You got to be
Yup.
careful about, I'm sure. That's tough. That's tough. So what's I know we talked about the pad and some different things. Um, what what are you going to hit this year when it comes to racing? What I know you said
Um,
street majority is what you want to get back to a
yeah.
lot, which I mean I'm sure
Um,
that
I want to go somewhere I've already been. I want to go to Philly. I want to go to Jersey.
God, dude, I just don't know if I could do that at Philly. That
Philly's
is
awesome. It's one of my.
that's I want to go watch. I just
It
don't
was amazing.
know, man. How in the world they are able to just sit there and stop traffic? Yeah, but that you're talking about anxiety or
I
having
grew
like
up. I grew up like when I first started watching street racing was in Baltimore, like right on the middle of the highway. Stop and go.
Jeez, that's crazy. That's just
Like
nuts to me
they
because
shut
we don't have
down the
crazy
highway.
traffic.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, like the bad is it called Bad Grandpa? I think is that car that it did the
Yeah. The
huge
white
wheelie and all that.
wagon.
There's some giant cojones on that boy. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That is nuts to do that in that street. That's wild to me.
I
I don't know, man.
the first time I raced there was on the road and we're going through an intersection. I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no way we're gonna do this. And the first pass, I was like, all right, got it out, we're good. And then went to the finals with Tommy Tommy K. Uh can't think of I can't say his last name, Kowalski or something like that. But and then it rained. We didn't get
Yeah,
to
that's
do the
just
finals.
nuts, man. That's nuts. And was that in Delaware? Is that the one that you're talking
No,
about?
that was
Or is that
in Philly.
that was in Philly?
That was in
Jeez,
Philly.
that's nuts. That I don't know that whole thing like, and I remember it's so funny. The first street race, like legit shootout type of street race that I went to, other than just like roll racing, grudge racing, and stuff, was down in North Carolina, and I had the Philly Street Race New Year's DVD in the DVD player of my truck. And that's what we watched the entire way down. I watched that thing so many freaking times. I forget
I
who put
wonder
that
if that was
video
one of the
out.
ones I went. The Philly Street Race team. I forget their name,
Yeah,
but they
I
do the
had that DVD, dude. That was an awesome DVD. They like made a whole. It was a really well put together DVD. So
me and
I think my phone's acting up here. There we go. There we go. We're
me
good. That was me.
and me and Billy went down there and watched one New Year's, and it like we were just out of our mind. Like, there's no way they're getting away with this.
Yeah,
Middle of the
yeah.
day.
They just don't really care either. Like
Nope.
the cop will be on the end of the street. I don't understand that either. The cop's got his lights
The
on at the
we
end of
got
the
to one
street.
spot. We got to one spot, and the cop was like, "As long as you guys stay on this side of town, it's shitty anyways. You can stay here." Like, okay.
Well, I've seen him make multiple passes, and there will be a cop at the end of the street with his lights on. I don't
Yeah,
know how that works. That
I
is
don't
just
either.
wild to me.
Like, if I
Like,
see a cop at the end of the street, I'm probably going to back out of the spot. Like,
yeah,
and move.
absolutely. And they're doing the burnout and making the hit with the guy with his lights on the end of the street. And I'm like, how in the world? That's just wild. Which I
Yeah,
mean, we saw what happened with the was it the Honda Civic up in New York that they stopped
yeah.
and the car behind them didn't stop and ended up.
That
See
was a
that
bad video.
that's what scares me. Is something like that.
Yeah.
Because man, there are some old. I don't mean this bad, but there's some old people out that shouldn't be on the road, especially out. I mean, and all they have to do is not see you, and they'll blast through people and trucks and
Oh yeah.
car. I
Yeah.
just that's wild to me. I would love to go watch. I just don't know if I'm putting my car on that. I just don't know if I can do that. That's just a
I've got a
wild
couple.
time.
I've got a couple videos racing on 70 in Baltimore with my Trans Am.
That's crazy. That's crazy because there's just so many. Which I know the thing about doing it's like the pad. Philadelphia. There's a lot of crime. They ain't really worried about street racing that much.
Not
They're like, oh,
really.
those people aren't killing each other. They're doing all right. Like, they're not robbing each other. Let's go actually get the bad guys.
Yeah.
So that's nuts, man. That's nuts. That's pretty cool. So Philly, you're going to try to get up back to Philly sometime this year?
Yeah. I want to get the Philly and Jersey area. Haven't really I mean, that's for street stuff. I know I usually make a trip to KD every year. I love KD.
I do as well. Katie's awesome.
Um, I mean, obviously, I'll be at Dig or Die, all of them, or one of them, or two
Right,
of them.
right.
The woman's in nursing school, so it makes everything hard this year.
I gotcha. But
So traveling's been rough.
I gotcha. Well, sacrifices have to be made. I get it.
Sacrifices have to be made,
Yeah,
and
that's for the future.
yeah, honestly, street races don't usually get planned.
Right, right.
So,
That's
but
they're pretty. Usually, they're the thing about street race too. It's a little different. Is most of the time you don't have to allot so much time for it.
yeah,
Like, especially I know up in y'all's area, it's y'all could do wham bam done, be home, no big deal because y'all have got that that
like
area up there. You don't have to dedicate 2 and 3 days for an event like you can. Street race will maybe one night and you can go ahead and head on back to the house.
yeah.
So
No,
I
it's
understand that.
I want to go to War on the Woods.
Man,
Bad,
War in the Woods is something else.
bad.
It is something
Like
else,
that's
that is for
one of the
sure.
places I want to go.
I would say, yeah, getting up there and a big end banger is also a very, very cool event to go to. I know we were able to do that like back to back last year, and that was it was awesome. It really was. I mean, uh, it's so different in a way because you get to go to Indiana, and I thought it was going to be, man, it was absolutely burning up hot. I will tell you, it is not going to be any cooler than anywhere else. That is for
Oh no,
sure. But man, trying to see how long we have been on this deal.
I
But
can't figure
Facebook is
anything out on it.
back. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. 43 minutes. It's not too bad. The I mean, Jeff Thomas puts on a great race there. It's a wild situation. They are, there's some killers, and it is a front side now. But it is a little different front side. It's
Yeah,
more like I feel like if you could take KD and mix it with Twin River, you would get the Brown County. That's what I
sounds like an
feel
awesome track.
like. Yeah, I feel like because KD's, you can go fast at KD somewhat, but you're sort of limited because of the bumps and the different things that are going on there. And but you've also, you don't have the grass and different things in the way. And then like
Yeah.
Twin Rivers got also the whoops, and it's
See,
got the
that's
grass in
another
the middle.
one. That's another one I want to go to. Like I was
That's going to be a crazy
supposed to go
one.
to last year.
Yeah. Well, I know Corey and Limpy are putting one on in July there, and that one is going to be one to go to. That's going to be insane because I don't know how they're going to fit. Because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people. I don't know how
Yeah.
they're going to fit that many people in that area, but it is going to be insane with Limpy there, and the people are flying on that little track, absolutely flying,
I looked at the
and
track at like the satellite views and I was like, there's no way.
yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
Look like it doesn't look like there's a long enough shut down
It
anything.
it doesn't, and obviously, if you're doing 130 plus, you need to be on the chute for sure. But there's been a lot of guys that are going that fast there and are getting stopped. I mean, they're not having a problem.
After my
So
mishap, stopping scares me.
understandable. That's where um, need to have that chute
Yeah,
ready for sure. Make
it's
sure because now
there
what
now.
what happened now because that is a I don't know if I've ever talked to
Probably
you about exactly what
not.
happened because that is a absolutely wild video where you just I mean just sort
I
of
didn't
went.
even know what to do, but I knew if I went straight off the back of the track, like it's a 15-foot drop, like straight down. I was like, we can't go that way. So I just cut the wheel and I hit the grass and just try to aim it towards something soft.
And it did. Like you didn't really hurt the car.
No, I
I
was
mean,
able to
you
go. I was able to race in the finals.
that's crazy. That's nuts. So if anybody watching this hasn't seen that video, I'm sure it's on Drag or Die. Go look it
Yeah,
up.
it's
We're
on Drag
talking
or
about
Die.
a wild ride. So what exactly happened to cause it? Did the brakes just
My brake,
overheat?
no brake booster line. I still
Uh,
have brake booster,
oh, got you.
and I think I had it more boost than it's ever had before, and it decided it was going to leave that line off.
Got you. Oh boy. Oh boy. So have you fixed it?
Yes,
What have you done to
yes.
fix this situation?
It was a spring clamp, like the factory spring clamp, and they all yelled at me. It was like, "Why is this still in there?" I was like, "Because it never came off."
Oh God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
so
nuts.
like that following week, um, I got some help and somebody got me a
I
parachute. Like
got you.
we
Man,
had a
that's just
parachute coming.
so wild. Like, yeah, because I'm watching the video, I'm like, what is going on? Like, how, I don't know. I can't believe that didn't really hurt anything. That's what's crazy.
Yeah,
Because,
it bent my lower tube tubular arm, um, subframe. That's all. Like
dang,
the radiator core support. That's all it bent.
that's wild. That's so funny. I mean, it's funny
Yeah,
now.
it's
I mean, it's funny
funny
now to
now.
look back on, but man, what a crazy. I know I had my whenever I first pulled the car together, I had a brake pedal um, come off of the rod.
Oh.
I was doing like 5 miles an hour and I freaked out. I couldn't imagine on the top end you going to hit the brakes at 130, 100 and
Well,
whatever at that
the
point.
worst
Jeez.
part was like I've never had brake issues, and like I just won semifinals, so I like celebrated first, and then I went to hit the brakes, and
Oh
like
God.
couldn't press them. Like the hand controls would not press the brakes.
Oh no. Because
So
because the hand controls are they sort of reliant on the booster to help
they,
that situation?
the hand controls are directly connected to the pedals.
Okay,
So it's a
gotcha.
rod that goes down to the pedal, and I push against it. So
Oh
if the
gosh.
brake booster's
So
not there, I have no manual. It's like manual brakes without the right stuff.
got you, got you, which is like way harder.
Yeah.
But you still have the boost. You still have the booster on it.
Yep.
That freaks me out.
It does. Look, I said it this year. I have a buddy. I gotta upgrade the brakes. The brakes are stock, but it stops with the booster. I want to do
Right.
manual brakes, but I'm scared it's going to be too hard to press.
Is there anybody else that's done anything similar to it?
I'm waiting for a friend of mine that's doing it on his Mustang, but he doesn't have hand controls, but he'll be able to tell me if it's soft or easy with stock brakes. So,
I got you. I got you. Well, I mean, like I've got strange brakes on my car, and obviously no brake booster, manual, and they do. I mean, I I would say they're not much different than stock brakes. I mean,
everyone
other than I've
everyone
gotten just
tells
used to it.
everyone tells me the valving with like the stock calipers won't work well with. It's what I've read. It's not one of those things that I want to go out and try.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I understand. I was gonna say if there was just some way that you could, I don't know how in depth it would be to take somebody's and put the hand controls on like a good set of aftermarket fronts and like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and just see like
No,
what it would feel like,
with
just
aftermarket brakes, I think it'd be fine. I'm worried about the stock brakes, and I haven't gotten brakes yet.
I got you. I
It's
got
on the
you.
list.
So you need to find some brakes.
Yeah,
You get some
it's on the list.
aerospace, some aerospace pretty cheap. I've seen,
Hmm.
people different upgrading and different things like that. Now I'll just start tagging you in every single brake thing that I
Yeah, there you
see
go.
from here on
Somebody's
out.
got
I'll just
brakes for
be like,
sale.
yeah, I'll be tagging you. In fact, the only thing is SN95 spindle, right? What changes when you put a Fox spindle on an
I don't
SN95?
know.
Does it set
See, this is my.
the wheel in?
I don't. I don't know.
I can't remember. I can't remember how that works. There's a certain way that, all those different ways where you can change a car to, like five lug and different
Yeah.
things like that, changing the Fox body over. I know, like, if you do the SN95, you can it sets the wheel a certain, you can't only run certain wheels. I forget what the difference is, but I think you could, because I may know where some aerospace brakes are.
Yeah.
Maybe, because I was purchasing them in a group deal or a big thing of stuff that I'm going to buy. So I will let you know if I end up with those
Let me
because
know.
those are, which
I've been.
aerospace are
It's a
good.
lot.
You
I've been.
know,
This year's been concerned on safety stuff too.
sure.
So
Well, you're going
we got.
fast enough. You sort of, I feel like what happened is you got fast real fast. like,
Yeah, like
you know,
it was like, all right, we're going 3/10 faster than we were like last month, and then
right, right.
didn't know what to
And
do with
then
it.
on a lot of stock
Yeah,
V6 Mustang stuff.
on a lot of stuff.
like,
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah,
It only has an 8-point cage.
right. Yeah.
That's
So
that's getting upgraded too.
yeah, need to up the safety level. And you're on M1, right?
I do got a fire suppression system.
You have a fire suppression
Yep,
system. You got that good fire jacket and pants and all that stuff too?
not pants.
No,
Haven't
not
haven't
pants.
gotten pants yet, but I got a
I
good
haven't gotten
jacket.
pants. I got you. I got you.
Yeah,
That's because everybody really needs to do that. I need to put a fire suppression system in my car like bad, but
I ordered. I actually ordered it in September from Garage Built Racing and got it yesterday or like 2 days ago.
God Almighty, that took forever.
The bottles were back ordered.
Isn't that the one? Because you wanted a specific kind
I wanted
of the
the foam
foam
agent. Hmm.
because it is like better to lay down and put the fires out, right?
Yep,
I don't know much
that's
about
what I
them,
was
so
told. It's if it catches on fire while moving, it's
yeah,
easier to put out. Vapor will dissipate.
makes sense because you're
Yeah.
moving. Let's say at 130 miles an hour. I know, like Lyle Barnett. One of the things that was when he caught fire is the fire all came back onto him
Yep.
and messed him up because of that. So if the foam would sit on it and not blow back, I get it. I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. I know he's a big propitiator of getting the fire systems and everything on point for
It's
sure.
one of those things like you don't want to spend that type of money, but like I in my mind was like I need this.
It sucks to spend money and not go any faster,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's
But
me. I mean, wheelchair. I gotta bail out if it's fire. I'm
sure,
crawling on the ground, so I need as much time as possible.
absolutely, absolutely. That's uh that's that's a big deal. I mean, because fire is nothing to mess with, and with M1, it's just
Oh yeah,
insane
no.
for
That
sure.
car's been completely engulfed in flames before.
Oh
Um,
God.
but I was working on it by myself and it caught on fire.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's no
it
good.
was. That's the reason there's no interior in it. Not because I took it out.
I
It
got you.
melted.
I got you. God Almighty, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you just had the lightweight modifications done for you,
Yeah.
just forced upon you. I
on
got you.
accident. Yeah.
On accident. Oh, it happens. I know the one guy that I've raced at Darlington, his car caught fire. His garage caught fire around his car. I don't know if you know that. I think it's Austin Jefferson.
Austin Jefferson. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his. I think his garage really like burnt down around his car though.
Hmm.
Um, which that sucks, man. Fire is just nothing to mess with. I really do need to get a fire suppression system.
So,
That needs to be on the list of things for sure because that's the only good. I mean, I will say the way that we do things, thankfully, is and people will be surprised because we do pretty ridiculous stuff. Is the majority of us are pretty safe about it.
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things. You know, there's probably been fewer wrecks at dig or die backtrack events than there have the majority of racing that we go to.
Oh no.
Um,
100%.
I mean, I I don't know. I don't want to say this if I don't want to say this wrong, but I don't know if I've ever been to a street race where there actually was an accident, which is weird to say because you would think as many passes and race. I mean, I wasn't there though. I
I
had
have.
not gotten there before Tyler DeSantis hit the tree.
Oh no,
And
my Trans Am. That's what happened. My Trans Am.
okay, okay.
But in my defense, the people that were blocking the intersection didn't block the intersection. A car pulled out in front of us. I hit a fire extinguisher instead. Fire hydrant.
Oh Lord! So pretty much sort of what Tyler DeSantis did, except
Yeah.
how much
What
did that tear up?
It ripped the back of the car off basically because like I dodged the car and it drifted into the fire hydrant.
I know it sounds. At least you didn't hit the
Yeah.
car, because
No, that's all I cared about. Like,
you probably wouldn't be here with us.
oh no, I'd be in jail
Unless, yeah,
probably.
I was gonna say, unless we're talking from a jail phone, we
Yeah.
wouldn't be talking right now. That would be nuts, man. That's
No,
just
no.
crazy. That is crazy. So we can pretty much we'll go ahead and wind this thing down
All
here.
right.
Who you got any people you want to thank? Any special mentions or call outs? You got anybody that you want to lock it down in the street with, or
I actually got a
uh,
list. I wrote a
you're
list because I knew
a
this question will
list?
happen. Yeah. I'm bad at like, man, I can't remember things.
I
But
got
like
you.
Bob's Benz, he does all my fabrication work. Gibson Performance, Ted Gibson, supports me in any way possible, fuel, everything. Bag Works, Performance and Coatings, they do my dyno time.
Nice.
Uh, and all my powder coating. KOTV, you guys help me with anything.
Heck yeah.
Scotty Wheels Racing. That,
Nice.
and then all my friends and my fiance, obviously, for
Heck
letting me
yeah,
do
man.
this.
Absolutely. It takes a bit. It takes a different type of woman to let us go and do the things that we do for sure.
Oh yeah,
So that's
100%.
and it would not be near as fun if you didn't have somebody who
No,
supported you. It ends up being,
definitely.
for sure. That's awesome. Well, heck yeah, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and let you enjoy the rest of your night. And yeah, heck yeah, we'll do this again sometime. And I can't wait to see you at the track or the street or whatever coming up.
All right, man. I'll see you
All
guys
right,
soon.
man.
Later.
Awesome. We'll talk to you later. All right, guys. So that was Johnathan McElroy. I need to get his pronunciation right. With HandiGapped Racing, go check him out. I think they may have some merch, some different things, and one of the coolest dudes in no prep street stuff, and super driven. Dude does everything, hand controls. As you heard, he's in a wheelchair. That's where the HandiGapped comes from. And I'm just telling you, you don't want to pull the green SN95 car at a no prepper street. And if you do, you better have your stuff lined out. That's just all there is to it. It is it's a killer for sure, and I'm sure it's going to come out in 2023 and be smacking people over the head like usual. So you heard it. Started out with a little $250 car. Now he's got a no prep gangster, and heck yeah, that's absolutely awesome. So hopefully we're going to start doing this every Tuesday. I'd like to talk to some different people. I know I've already talked to some, made some posts and different things. Probably have Taylor Hedrick on maybe next week. I'm going to talk with him and see if he'll get on. With the stick shift new edge car, one of the fastest stick shift new edge cars, or fastest stick shift cars, period, for drag week, sick week. I mean, just absolutely insane car. Super awesome guy. Then I know I talked with Jordan Merciel, I think is his name. He's one of our box top Fairmont guys, and we're going to get him on here, talk to him for a bit. I know he's into all kinds of stuff, so haven't really got to talk with him a whole lot. And heck yeah, we're going to get some other people. If you have any recommendations of people that you would like to see on here, I'm trying to talk to everybody. I want to talk to, if you have a no prep street car or a street race car or whatever the case may be, I want to talk to you. I want to get it on here. And this is really more for me. I don't care whatever, all of you guys, be what it be. I like to learn about people. I like to talk to them, learn about their experiences. And super cool to get to talk with Johnathan, man. He's always so awesome. From the first time I met him, and I'm pretty sure the first time was at that Digger Die, just super top notch, awesome guy to be around, hang around. We were betting money on the starting line like the first day out. Just, I mean, having a great time. It's always a good time to see friends, and that's the one thing about Digger Die and no prep and all these cash days is get to be with your friends and just enjoy racing. It just is what it is. So that's going to be it for this one. And hopefully we'll be back next week. We're probably going to end up with Corey Stamper on this deal. He's going to end up helping us with some stuff with video and whatnot. It's pretty crazy that we're not able to let people online with the desktop. So it is what it is. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. I got 10% battery, so we can go throw it on the charger. We'll see y'all. Peace.